Hey guys, and welcome back. We're looking at the PSU for the Yamaha cx5. So I'm taking you through the final case I built, the installation and all the other little bits and pieces, and then we will try it on the machine and make sure it is working. Alright, so I have everything I need now. The only thing I'm thinking of is I may need to make some form of a switching board, just so that when it's turned on it doesn't get all the voltages going into it until the onboard one on the MSX is turned on. So that's one thing I'm thinking of. I need to just check it when it's plugged in to see if the voltages are going into it before it is turned on or after it is turned on. So that's one thing I'll have to check. Anyway guys, we will carry on with this. So grab yourself a drink, some snacks if you want them, and a comfy chair. And let's get on with it. Okay guys, so as you can see, different case. This is the grey one I printed up, and this is out of pt2. The other one I had was done out of PLA, and the problem with PLA is with heat, it deforms and warps. So I've redone this one, and as you can see, I've added in 2 extra mounts in the middle, because I actually found with the PLA one it would mound a little bit sometimes. So this will give us the case pulling down. So I've got the power supply sitting in here, and I have also got a 3-pin standard power connector. I got one with the spade connectors on it, which has worked out really well, because I had a cable that had spade connectors on it, and I used that to run my mains. A power plug, which I got. This has an LED in it, so I'm not going to use the little one in the case. That can stay there anyway. But this actually turns on when I turn the power on, which is really cool, because then that tells me it's powered up. So I haven't plugged the cable into this yet, but what I'll do is I've got to drill a couple of holes so I can mount that on the front of it. Now it all doesn't touch the connectors or that down here, which is good. They're insulated anyway, the connectors. So I'm going to just pop this down so you can see it. The only other thing I had to do was the hole was a fraction small. So I used a pocket knife, one I just popped out, and I used it to open the hole up a little bit. And then I went in with a file and just filed around it and gave it a nice smooth connection on the inside and the outside. And it's a nice tight fit. So what I do is then once I got it in there, I put a cable tie on the other side, and that just stops you pulling it out. So what I will do is I will plug this in so you guys can actually see. You can actually see this turning on, because then I got to screw this and mount this on. Alright, so I got this in. Where are we? That one there. Turn that on. And so what I will do is I'll power this up. And now if I turn this on, as you can see, the little LED now comes on. That means there is power going into the circuit. Turn that off and there's no power going into that circuit. That light might be a bit bright on you, so I'll turn that off. Now you can see the light is on, the light is off. Alright, so that just tells me when the power is running on this. I'll turn that off so I'll unplug it. So I just got to get myself some screws. I've got some in a case up the top up there. What I do is when I strip stuff down, if there's quite a few of them, I put the nuts and the bolts and all that sort of stuff, washers and stuff, into cases, and I try to keep them in sizes in width and in length. So yeah, so I've got those up there. I do have some brand new M2 to M4 or 5s if I need them, but I think this will be fine with what I have up there, because I can then just cut them down if they're a bit long anyway. Alright guys, so that's where I'm up to. Here's the cable also, and what I've done is I've grouped all my cables together. The two wires that I found out were the switch are these two here, which I have left not used at the moment, because that was the one that comes from the machine that in the original power supply turns the power supply on to the machine. And what I've done is I've heat shrink the wires so they can't short. So that one is me -12, that one is me 5 volts, that one is me 12 volts, and that one is my ground. So I've got them sort of color coded to what they are in relation to colors for the wiring. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is unplug this, and I'm going to get a drill bit and a drill, and I'm just going to drill some holes and mount this in here so this is in properly, and then we'll put the cable in. And this bit here for the switch, I'm going to leave it for now because I need to check to see if I need that switch to make it work on the machine or not, because there is a little circuit board where this power connector plugs into in the back of the MSX, and it has this little distribution board there, and it has some transistors and a couple other things on it. So I'm wondering if it needs this to close for it to trigger off letting the power into the machine. So it's one thing I'm not 100% on. I just need to have a look at it and have a look at these schematics as well, and that should tell me. Alright guys, so I'll go and do this, and then we'll come back to it and carry on from there. Alright, I will see you soon. Hey guys, as I said, got some drill bits, got my battery drill, and this is my box of all the little bits I stick in it when I'm stripping stuff down, and this is my other set of Allen key nuts and bolts that I bought when I was doing some work with 3D printing. So, go, tighten this up, and I'm just trying to think, we don't need very long ones, so that's 20, it's 12s. 12 might be more than enough. Oh, there's some 8s there. I think they're going to be more than long enough, and then there's nuts there for those as well. Cool. Alright. And all these I got a pile of relays. So, anybody who wants some relays, let me know. I've got ice cream containers full of the bloody things. But, yeah, they came out of those, and there was the nuts and the bolts, so they were all on boards and aluminium brackets and that type of thing. And I stripped it all down, took all the wires off them. I have the cradles for them as well as the relays if you want those. So I'm paid postage. I'm just looking at finding a home for them. But yeah, so that's what we have here. So those ones, and I put a little label on the end so I know what's in them. So those 8mm, I measured them all, probe from under the head to the end of the thread. They were 8mm long by 2.5 wide, and those are the nuts that got them. They were all roughly the same size. I think they were 2.5s. They were just different sizes. It was 8, 12, 20, and I think 25 or 28. But that should be more than enough for this, because we only need to go through that little bit of plastic and the other bit. We may need to go to the slightly thicker one, I don't know. I think that'll give us just enough on the other side looking at it. From there and then through that. Yeah, we'll just get the nut on the other side, which I think will be fine. Now, just make sure I get the right drill bit, and then we should be right. So we'll take a nut out, and we get something a little bit bigger than a nut. And these drill bits, I just bought them. They were a pack of them, and this is from our local hardware, and they go all the way from 1.5mm up to 3.2mm, which is about the most you ever want when you're doing electronic stuff. You shouldn't need much bigger than that. But I think we're going to have to go for the bigger one. I think that one will be... Oh no, that will probably be the one we want. Yep, I think the 3mm will be big enough because they're a 2.5mm. There is a 2.5mm, but you don't want them tight. You do want a little bit of room in them so you can put them into get them connect, so they can go through, so you can turn them around. So I'm just gonna, I did put some dots on here, but I will trust myself better if I line it up through it and then drill it. So that's one, so I'll try it with the one and see if that works. She'll swarps off the other side. Yep. And see if this will fit through, eh? If it's going to be long enough, I should say, more than anything. We might have to get a screwdriver and screw that in, I think. Yep, and that just pokes through fine on the other side. Just on the other side of it over here, you can, just on the other side here, you can just, it's just sticking out over this side, which is fine. So, put this one on. Yep, it's in there. That's actually nice and tight with just the one. So, we'll put the second one in. This one might be a little bit trickier because it's right next to the mounting post. Might be a little bit trickier to get one into, I think. What we can do is, if I don't think I can get the nut onto that. I could probably look at chiseling some of that away with the knife to get the nut on it. Other than that, the other thing I could do is to whack some hot glue down there around it, since it's pushed in, and that should hold it fine. It's only an extra straining relief on it. I might see if I can do it with the knife first, then if not, I will come back with the hot glue gun, I think, and hot glue it. Okay, so I'll have a look at this and see if I can sort it, and then I'll come back to you when I've gotten there. Alright, see you soon. Okay, so I ended up having to hot glue it in because the pt2 is actually quite a hard plastic. It was quite hard to get into to cut away that side. And the other thing I found is that all the nuts I don't have any left that are the tapered fitting ones. I've only got the round headed, so I'll put those in for now. I mean, they look okay, they're just not flush fit. Later date they can change them and just get some 3mm. They can get some tapered flush fit and put them in and replace them if they want to. So these are all Allen key ones, they're not standard. Yeah, so they can put in their own Phillips style later on if they want to. That's all I have at the stage that'll go in there. That looks nice. I mean, I could put some of the older Phillips ones I have there out of that other box, but these look nicer being black as well. Alright, so I've done that. I will put the cable in and wire the cable up to the connectors inside here, and then we will go from there. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. And I'll put a cable tie around this as well to stop it pulling out. Okay, so what you saw me doing there is I just put some tape around it because this has a shielding down the cable. I don't want it shorting on anything, so I've just put some insulation tape around it, and then I put the cable tie on there, and then as that pulls forward, it's just going to stop it trying to come out that hole. Now you're going to have to pull pretty tight to get that out. These all need to be cut down. They are miles too long for in here because they only just go in and under here, and I need to get all those right. And these are untinned ends, these are just bare copper, so I'm going to tin the ends so they don't splay out and go all over the place. So I will do that as well. I better put that away, it can go in the rubbish. So I will do that, and then I'll come back to you guys, and what we'll do is we'll just check the voltages on the ends of this to make sure everything is giving us what it should do. Alright, so turn this on. So we'll just check these voltages and see what's what. So we're powered on. So we have, it's our common, that should be our 5 volts. Yep, that's our 5 volts. That's probably because I haven't got the screws in. It's our 12. And that's our minus 12. Okay. Yep, that's what I thought they were. Cool. Alright. Turn all that off. And so what I can do now is I'll just cut these tips down a little bit and then pop them in and screw them down, and then we should be done with this bit. And as I said, these 2 extra wires are for the switch that's inside the MSX, and I'm not sure if we're going to need them or not. Well, what do I want? That's 5. It's round, that's plus, and that's minus. Okay, so that one is plus. Okay, plus, and that one is minus. And that one is our ground. Goes up to here. Do a bit more. Okay. Alright, and that's all of those screwed in. So they should all be nice and tight. So what I will do is just try it once more and make sure we're getting the good voltages out and that nothing has changed. Ground. 5 volts, 12 volts, minus 12. Yep, cool, that's all good. Right, so now the thing is to button this up and try it on the MSX and see how it goes. So I'll do that, I'll screw all this down and I'll get the other bits up on here and we'll go from there. Okay, so I want to open this up and make sure the voltages that have come through this little board are correct, that are coming into here to go into the machine. I just want to double check all this. So that's why I've got the machine open. It's only a couple of minutes to unscrew it back together. So what I will do is I'll power this on and power that on. So that is going, and so now we'll see what voltages we've got. I'll just put my eyes in. Wherever I put those. So that's ground, and that should be minus. Okay. These come up. So I'm picking that is because of the switch. Down here. That's what I'm picking. That's. This is what I was wondering whether I need to use the switch to go through. Oh, hang on. Might help if I plug it in, eh? Turn that off. Plug this in. This time. Okay. That's ground, and then it's 5 volts. That's 5 volts. Yep. 12. That should be minus 12. 12. Now those I don't think work. Oh, there we go. There's 12 and minus 12. So those are all of our voltages coming through. So yeah, so that switch must be something that enables it in here. So the switch is not actually working on this. So yep, that's cool. So we've got all our voltages here. Ground. Let's try and get on these connectors. That's 12. Try and get on them. That's 12. 5. 5. Right. So guys, it's all working voltage wise. Plugged it all together, put the machine on, and it worked on the HDMI. Turned it off, and then it didn't work on the HDMI. So I spent a couple of days trying to find out what's going on. And I thought it was the power supply, and I thought, well, it can't be. And I did a bit of in-depth checking, and I thought, well, I'll start from the very basics with the HDMI unit. Now, if you unplug the tang out of the board and fire it up, it'll come up with its display screen, which tells you it's working. So I unplugged it out of the board, stuck it into a PC, plugged it into the HDMI on the screen, and nothing. Then I mucked around with the, I thought, well, is it connections or something? I tried another USB-C cable, put it in, and it worked. I thought, oh, okay, dodgy USB-C cable. So there must be something to do with the connection onto the board. So I had a look on the board, and I checked all the traces and all the connections on the board to make sure there was no bad connections. And there wasn't. Everything was fine. I thought, well, that's weird. So I tried plugging it back in, firing it up. Same thing. It wouldn't work. And then I thought, well, no, I unplugged it. Well, it could be the LVCs on it that could be a bit weird. Because if they get too hot, they'll die. And I thought, well, yeah, I had some here, so I went through my stash I had, made no difference. Changed one, changed the lot, rechanged the whole lot for another lot, same thing. And I'm thinking, well, don't tell me it's a faulty Tang Nano. And I was sitting there thinking, I'll order some more LV 7.4 LVCs, and just in case mine are faulty or fake. So I ordered another lot of those. And while after I ordered those, I thought, I wonder. And I dropped the little baseboard that has the voltage shifters on it off the Tang Nano. And guess what? The screen came up fine. The splash screen. And I thought, oh, must be working. It might have been a bad connection. Plug it into that baseboard that goes into the socket for the video chip. Nothing. Black screen. So I'm thinking there's a fault on that board, or a fault in a socket or something like that. So what I'm going to have to do is solder up a new socket, then try it with it plugged into the socket, and then see how we go from there. Alright, so that's where I'm up to, and I think that's all it's going to take to get this up and running. As it seems, there may have been a couple of faults with this. But in all honesty, a new style power supply with less ripple, less noise is going to be better. Now I'm probably going to look at modding this a wee bit more in later. We're coming into Christmas, and it's only like a couple of weeks before we go away, and I don't know if I'm going to get any more videos done and out before then. So it mightn't be until the new year until you start seeing some new videos from me. I'm sorry about that, guys, but yeah, things do take priority. So if I don't see you until then, have a great Christmas and an awesome new year. Hopefully you get some bits and pieces you're wanting, and you probably end up with some you don't. But I'm going to be starting the new channel next year as well, which is the House of Spectra Video, and I'm going to go through all the hardware I have on Spectra videos, and I'm going to start off with the 318 Mark I and go up from there, and each video will be a different episode on a different piece of hardware. I have lots of different bits and pieces, so if you're interested in that, jump on and have a look when that starts up. I have only got the intro for the channel up there at the moment, so if you want to, keep an eye out for that. Also keep an eye out for this channel. I've got a lot more that needs finishing up. The other thing I will be doing is I'm thinning down a lot of gear I've got as well. So a lot of the machines I'll end up finishing and getting done and out, I will be moving them on and looking for new homes for them. So if you see something I'm working on and you're interested in it, give me a message or something, or if you're in the Facebook group or on the Discord, just give us a yell and just say, hey, you know, I'm interested in one of these, and we can work something out from there. Alright guys, so as I said, have a great Christmas and an awesome New Year. And if I don't see you until then, have a great day, have a great week, have a great and awesome Christmas and New Year. And until next time, you know, ciao.